If you want to master Tinkercad circuits, the fastest way is to use the Learning Center the right way, follow the lesson order, and actually experiment with what you build. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to learn Tinkercad circuits step by step, how to build a strong foundation, and how to turn each lesson into something you can reuse later. If this video helps you, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more easy software tutorials just like this. Now, let's get straight into it. First, log into your Tinkercad account. Once you're inside, look at the top bar and click on Learn. This is where Autodesk keeps the guided learning content, and it's one of the best places to start if you're brand new to Tinkercad circuits. After you click Learn, select Circuits. That will take you directly into the circuit learning path instead of just browsing random projects. Now here's the important part. Don't skip around. If your goal is to really understand Tinkercad circuits, you need to complete the lessons in the proper order. Start with Blink. This lesson teaches you the most basic circuit setup, how components connect, and how a simple Arduino project behaves. Think of it as your foundation. If you understand Blink, everything else becomes easier. After that, move on to Push Button. This lesson helps you learn how input works. Instead of just making something flash, you'll start understanding how a physical button sends a signal into the circuit. That's a huge step because most real projects depend on inputs like buttons, switches, and sensors. Next, go to Multimeter. This is where you begin learning how to test and troubleshoot your circuits properly. A lot of beginners ignore this step, but it's one of the most useful lessons you can do. The multimeter helps you understand voltage, continuity, and whether your circuit is actually behaving the way you expect. If something goes wrong later, this is the kind of knowledge that saves you a lot of time. Then finish with Arduino Blink. This lesson connects the basic LED concept to the Arduino workflow in a more complete way. By the time you reach this point, you should already feel much more confident with wiring, code, simulation, and how the board responds to instructions. And that lesson order matters because these 4 lessons build the exact foundation you'll need for more advanced projects like keypads, sensors, alarms, and interactive builds. If you rush through them, later projects will feel confusing. But if you take your time and understand each one, you'll progress much faster. Now let's talk about the pro workflow that makes learning Tinkercad circuits much more effective. The first part of the workflow is something I like to call Tinker This. After every lesson, save it to your dashboard. Don't just finish a lesson and move on. Save it, keep it, and build your own library of working circuits and code. This gives you a personal reference collection you can come back to anytime. If you forget how a circuit works later, you won't need to start from zero. You can open one of your saved projects and study it again. This is especially useful if you're making videos, teaching others, or planning your own circuit designs. Saved lessons become a reusable resource bank. Over time, your dashboard turns into a mini circuit textbook that you created yourself. The second part of the workflow is debugging with the serial monitor. This is one of the smartest things you can do while learning. During a simulation, open the serial monitor and use it to explain why your circuit works. For example, if a button changes a value, if a sensor reading updates, or if a condition triggers, the serial monitor helps you see the logic behind the result. That means you're not just copying steps, you're learning how the code and hardware work together, and that's what actually builds skill. If you're trying to understand circuits deeply, the serial monitor is one of your best teaching and troubleshooting tools. The third part of the workflow is to experiment on purpose. Once you finish a lesson, break it. Change a resistor value, swap a component, alter a wire connection, make a controlled mistake and see what happens. This is one of the fastest ways to learn because it helps you understand cause and effect. For example, if you change a resistor and the LED becomes dimmer, now you understand resistance more clearly. If a button stops responding after you move a wire, you'll understand how that connection affects the circuit. This kind of hands-on experimentation is what turns basic lesson following into real learning. So if you want the simplest formula for mastering Tinkercad circuits, here it is. Log in, go to Learn, select Circuits, complete Blink, Push Button, Multimeter, and Arduino Blink in order, save every lesson to your dashboard, use the serial monitor to understand what's happening, and then deliberately experiment to deepen your knowledge. If you follow that process, you won't just know how to use Tinkercad circuits, you'll actually understand it. And that understanding will make every future project easier, faster, and much more fun. If this tutorial helped you, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.